Hi, I'm Callie,
I'm Lauren.
and this is the Book Common Room podcast. Okay, welcome back, everyone. I hope you're just as excited as we are to talk about Red Rising and Mr. Pierce Brown.
Mr. Pierce Brown.
But as usual, before we get into it, Lauren, what have you consumed?
I forgot we needed to talk about this.
What have you listened to? What have you read?
What have I even done? What have I done in the past month? What did I even do? Yeah, not too much. It
was a fast month.
Yeah, I don't know.
April?
What has happened?
April went by so fast.
Yeah, things have just been busy. But let me think of other things I consumed other than reading. You know what's really bad is it's not even like I spent all that time trying to read the book that we're reading. I've really only read the book the last 3 days.
Hey, there you go.
And it was fine because it was
very fast paced.
Yeah, it was enough. It sucked me in enough so I was able to read it or listen to it in 3 days. But other content has not really been consumed at all, really. What have I watched? I feel like I've been watching things, at least. I've been watching behind the scenes of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wait, I love Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, so I've been watching behind the scenes of their making of the movie, and it just made me really miss old Disney.
That's fair.
Especially with the whole controversy going on right now where they let go of a bunch of Disney employees.
Oh, I didn't know this.
I don't know if you heard about this, that they replaced with AI.
Artists? Oh.
Yes.
Bruh.
And so I saw this video that was the actress. She plays the Tariel in The Hobbit, and she's also the Wasp in Marvel.
Yes.
And she was seeing this being circulated, and she was like, I don't know if this is actually real. So what she did was she called up one of the guys that she worked with who designed her suit.
Connection. Yeah,
and she was like, Andy, is this actually happening? And he was like, yeah, I was let go. And he was the guy that made her suit and a bunch of other superhero iconic looks. And she was emotional about it. And all these artists' creations are now being regenerated and are the property of AI, which Disney will now use to craft their future production.
That's so weird that Disney's doing that, because even on a business side, you can't copyright generative AI. You just actually can't, because you can't go to generative AI and put something out and say that you own it. That's this whole, I was listening to a podcast. It's becoming a thing in the literary world too.
Yep.
But part of the issue is then people are trying to copyright it and they can't.
Nope.
Because it's not theirs.
Nope. It's not, we're going to pull it off.
Yeah.
That's not going to be consumed as something that a human made. You can't just, people should not be spending money going to do this or read this when it's something that you could have just plugged into AI. So I was watching old Pirates and man, I just missed that. They took
Pirates of the Caribbean is basically a perfect movie.
Oh my goodness. That's what we were talking about though. They have such good characters. They have such good story. They the way they introduced Jack Sparrow from the get-go is incredible. Iconic. His ship is sinking and he is taking it with pride. It's just
and he
incredible.
Captain Jack
He is
Sparrow.
Captain Jack Sparrow. And so I just was watching the behind the scenes of their creation, and I just really loved Johnny Depp and how he brought Jack Sparrow to life, because they talked about how you have to choreograph all these things, but then the actors have to come in and they have to color the choreograph with their character. And so it's a lot of back and forth of movie making, because the actors have to come in and make it theirs. I love that. And so it just was making me think I miss this. I want this back, because it feels like Disney is in this era of everything that they used to not stand for.
Well, I feel AI is really good at making content.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what they want. They just want as much content as possible. But what? Okay.
At what cost though?
Yeah. And is it what? Okay.
And that's the other thing too, is this is kind of a tangent, and I'll get off my little soapbox of this in after this.
We're
passionate. It was making me think, because I was talking to my parents. They were parenting through the golden era of Disney, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And they were just saying Disney didn't pop out movies every year. It was every couple years they would come out and it would be an amazing movie.
And it was a big deal. It was
a big deal.
This December. And it was a family thing, or was it usually Thanksgiving? I don't remember. And it was a big thing. We'd all go.
Yeah, we'd all go. And it was starting to be a big thing when they started coming out every year, because the reason they took so long was because they were perfecting their art, their characters, the story. They took time to create these stories. It wasn't like we were having to be constantly fed. And so now I feel like, and before their movies paid for everything. And now all their theme parks are what pays for their movies.
Yeah, because their movies they're not doing as good now.
No, it made me really sad. So anyways, that's what I've been consuming is like old stuff when I can. But hopefully in June, I have more to report.
Yes.
But Callie, what have you been, like video games, movies, books, like what are the things that you have been consuming?
I just played Detroit Becomes Human. It's like a choice-based game. I think it's 2038 is the year.
Okay.
Humanity has created these androids, these humans to do everything.
Okay.
So they you could hire an android that just looks like a normal human being to clean your house, they had self-driving cars, to do basically all of the worries we have today about AI, they address it in this game. But instead of it just being like on your phone or on your computer, it's like a physical android. But they've become sentient. They're thinking for themselves.
Okay.
So you're playing as these different androids as they're feeling real human emotions.
Yes.
It's super cool.
It's an interesting concept for sure.
Is the gameplay, it came out a while ago.
Okay.
So the gameplay
it looks kind of old.
It's old. The gameplay's a little clunky. It's a fixed camera, so like you're moving the character around, but the camera doesn't ever move. I sometimes have a hard time with, but the story itself was super interesting.
Yes.
So I liked it.
Yes.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
I love that.
It's not very long. I think I played it like 8 hours maybe or something like that. I don't know. I need to do it again because I played the quote unquote safe route. I need to do the not safe route. Cause some real trouble.
That's how I am on every video game. It's like, do you want hard mode? And I was like, no.
No.
I like to.
Well, it's more like, do we do peace or do we fight? And I chose the peace route.
Which is interesting, though, because I remember when we played Hogwarts Legacy, you're like, I'll be nice this first round, but I'm going to be mean next time.
Yes, I have to see what happens for both of them.
Yes.
But that's like video game I like. I read a couple books. I read The Dog Stars by Peter Heller. It's being adapted into a movie right now.
I've heard about this.
With
Ridley Scott, who did Gladiator.
Yes. So I saw that Ridley Scott was making this movie, and I watched the trailer, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Ridley Scott is a hit or miss for me lately.
I know. So I was like, the movie looks fine. But then I saw it was a book, and I'm like, okay, a book about a pandemic that ended the world, and we're following a guy who's lost everything, and he's trying to find his humanity again. That's the story for me.
Oh.
Like, what would Callie like? That's what she'll like. I was actually pleasantly surprised. It was pretty slow. It wasn't like super cinematic or anything like that. And the ending surprised me. Usually these books are like heavy, depressing. I mean, it was still sad, but there was a lot of optimism in it, so I actually liked it.
Okay.
I liked the book. I gave it a 3.5. I thought it was good. And then I read The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark, which is actually 2 authors. It's V.E. Schwab and, I forgot her first name, but her last name's Clark. It was also fun. It wasn't anything
you've been busy.
Crazy. Well, my work is going under right now.
Oh boy.
So, yes.
You're like, this is what I'm going to do. Yes. That's okay. At least it gives you this time to consume all of these things.
Exactly. And it was fun. It was a group of authors get sent off to an island, and they're tasked to write the ending of a book of a famous author who passed away.
Okay.
And then people start dying. Yes.
Interesting.
It was actually a lot of fun. The quality was okay, but I had a lot of fun.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Okay. All right, you guys.
Yes.
Okay, we got to get into this. Who is Pierce Brown?
Mm-hmm.
When I was looking at pictures, I'm like, he's young. He looks young to me. Maybe he's one of those people that like just look young for a very long time until they like look ancient, you know?
That's true.
But I was like, wow, like how old is this guy? I'm very excited to talk about him because he has written very cool and popular things.
So who's Pierce Brown? He's another alive author, and as we have already established, I feel weird doing deep dives into people who are alive. So I did Wikipedia surface level research / his own website.
Yes.
So everything is just like readily available.
Or Goodreads. That's what I use.
Goodreads or interviews. So stuff he's already said, I haven't like scoured.
Yes.
But anyway, so he was born January 28th, 1988. So how old is he? 88.
1988, so he's 36, 37?
36, 37. Yes.
Let me do the math.
He's a millennial. He was born to his mother, Colleen Brown, and his father, Guy Brown. He lived in 7 different states growing up, and he said he went to 10 or 11 schools growing up. So he moved around all the time. He said that really affected who he was as a child, because like every time he moved, it was a new group of classmates, a new bully. It was like he had to figure out who he was in each different spot. I was watching an interview and I thought it was pretty funny. He's like, for me it was pretty easy because I could kick a ball, and I think as a young boy, if you can do sports, you're pretty fine. But his older sister had a hard time with it. Okay. It was just harder for her to acclimate to every new place.
Situation.
And then he eventually went to Pepperdine University in 2010. He earned a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. Political Science.
If only. Not for him, but if that was how it was. Learn how to be quiet.
Quiet. Just stop. Which you can clearly see in Red Rising. It's very obvious that he is a poli-sci.
Yes. He's a poli-sci bro. Oh no. Just kidding.
And then he said that throughout his college career, he wanted to be a storyteller, but, and this is from his website, quote, "It wasn't until I left high school that I realized it was even possible to be a writer. Up to that point, writers were strange giants. Tolkien, Heinlein, Huxley, Shelley, Homer, Rowling stood tall as mountains, distant as the moon. They were revered institutions, masters of complex literary mechanisms. I wasn't one of those unearthly creatures. On a muggy summer night just after high school ended, I started writing. 18 bizarre pages of frantic chicken scratch, the first chapter of a 700-page fantasy novel containing as much literary merit as a bag of hot Cheetos. But the seal was broken. I knew what I was, even if I suspected I was dreadful at it. Whenever a mentor would chuckle when I said I wanted to be a novelist, which happened often, or whenever a friend would smirk and humor me, which happened even more often, I took the doubt as rocket fuel. I would write anywhere, from the hallway floors between classes to the passenger seat in my car to the DMV waiting line. When I had work, I would wake up when it was still dark and fuel my manic stream of prose with half liters of coffee. I was obsessed, elated." And then
just his description of this,
it's so good.
So good.
And then he says, agents were less elated. I wrote 6 books in 5 years and received more than 100 rejections in return. I was 22 and I was about to quit writing, realizing I might just be crap at it. He doesn't say crap.
But we're doing this because we know children that sometimes watch this.
We will censor what he says, but he has colorful language and I find it funny.
Yes.
So basically, he wrote 6 books. So Red Rising was his 7th book. Mm-hmm. That finally got picked up by an agent and published in 2014. Mm-hmm. And each book has just gotten popular. Like, he published the Red Rising. It was popular. And then he published Golden Sun in 2015, which got even more popular. And then by Morning Star in 2016, he was like everywhere.
Yes. And since then, 10 years from then, mm-hmm. I have acquaintances that are reading this right now and like are obsessed with this. And that's like, so it's continued. I don't know if it's that it kind of dropped a little bit and then got popular again, or if it's just been on a steady popular stream, but like I'm noticing it more around me now that I've read it. It's so interesting to me because I feel like for those that either you love it or you mm-hmm. don't love it, it definitely has themes from very popular literature that make me want to read those things. Even like Homer and Virgil, like it makes me want to read those because it has very Roman themes mm-hmm. in it. And so I don't know, like I think it's a very good thing that no matter how it started, it's getting people to read. Yeah. And it's getting people to read other things too. So
I love
that.
It opens the world up to tons of stuff. And I think there are a lot of really important ideas in this book that people should just think about. Yes. As a collective humanity, people should think about themes that are introduced.
Yes, which we're going to get into because we're going to talk about kind of how did Red Rising come to be. And Callie did a lot of research onto this, and then I've also done like some research that hopefully we can sew together cohesively.
I like it.
But big thing that he has said from his website, from Goodreads, just online, if you just do a very surface level search, he talks about how he was inspired by Antigone, by Sophocles. So, quote, "Then I read the play Antigone. I had read it before for school. Maybe I wasn't looking for stories when I first read it. Whatever the case, a week later on a mountain hike, I saw Mars bright in the sky. A seed planted by Antigone began to grow. What if I took ancient Greece, added stars, spaceships, opera, romance, twists, betrayal, and blood. 2 months later, I had Red Rising, which is insane.
Yes.
It just goes to show, if you want to be a writer, just write.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, like, he was writing when he was in the DMV line. He was obsessed. And so I think if you want to be a writer, you just got to write. Just write and write and write. And also expose yourself to literature, because he talks about how reading inspired him in a lot of ways and how different stories inspired him. He continues to talk about how Antigone is a tragedy by Sophocles about a young woman who defies a royal decree to bury her brother, leading to a conflict between divine law and human law, familial loyalty and state authority, and ultimately resulting in her death, the suicide of her fiancé and his mother. Set in Thebes after a civil war, the play follows Antigone as she chooses to honor her brother Polynices. I never know how to pronounce these sometimes. With burial rites, despite King Creon's order that he be left unburied as a traitor, a decision that pits her against her uncle and new king. I mentioned how he says that other contemporary writers that influence him include J.K. Rowling, Gene Wolfe, George R.R. Martin, Frank Herbert, and he personally says the closest parallel to Red Rising for him is Alexander Dumas' Count of Monte Cristo.
Hey, there you go.
And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Because his main character has this innocence, this naivete, and is shaped into this creature of revenge. Kind of a creature that has to get destroyed by what revolution does, essentially, and being the person starting a revolution. So I thought that was interesting when he was talking about that. Something else. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just about to say, I wonder if he's going to follow, because the 7th book, he's still writing it right now.
Yeah.
There was an interview a while back. He said he hoped he'd have the 7th book out this summer, so summer 2026. That is not true.
Yeah.
He doesn't know when it's coming out, but I wonder if he's going to follow the Antigone storyline, and he's going to kill Darrow off in the end.
Okay, well, that's what I'm curious about too, because someone who's been reading this, they were like an acquaintance that I have. They were just talking about how this book series, they think that they know where it's going to go, and they're like distraught by it.
I don't know if that's a spoiler, but like, because the whole point of Greek tragedies and Antigone, the reason like her story is so important is because she did something even though she knew she was going to die, and she did. It wasn't this like, oh, she's the hero, so she's going to be saved in the end, or she's going to figure out in the end. No, she still dies. But and she knew she was going to. Her fiance, who's the king's son, was like, you can't do it. My dad's going to kill you. She's like, I love you, man, but I still got to do this. Yeah. This is my brother, and his soul is going to stay in purgatory if I don't bury him. Super important to her, and she still does it. Yeah. And then she dies.
See, that's the other thing. I think we have, maybe this is such a hot take and also not very thought out hot take, but I feel like so much of our literature and the literature that a lot of people start to love is because it has those kinds of stakes. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of authors kind of baby us, but I feel like Greek tragedies, they didn't baby their audience. And the thing is, I learned this, and this is probably very surface level, but Greek tragedies are either a tragedy or they're a comedy. And comedy, of how we know it today, it's like, ha, ha, ha. No, comedy was meant to show that the hero didn't fall from their fatal flaws. They overcame them. And then the tragedies are when the hero, their fatal flaw is what destroys them. Yeah. I feel like this story, I'm hoping, is kind of shifting the paradigm to those kinds of stories a little bit. Yeah. And being able to kill your main character, potentially. Yeah, I
don't know. We'll see. I also feel like Pierce Brown isn't the type to baby his audience either. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does.
Yeah. Or one of the other main characters, Mustang maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
But then again, it wouldn't hit the same if Mustang died than if it was Darrow. Because you're in his head the whole time.
See, that's why I love Gladiator.
Gladiator's so good.
I love stories like that.
Exactly. That's the other one, Gladiator.
Yeah. Gladiator's so good. Gladiator is very similar because, I hope these aren't spoilers.
Spoilers for Gladiator.
He was motivated. I mean, he is... Okay, this is very parallel to Red Rising. You will find out later. Yes. But in Gladiator, he didn't want to stay when Marcus Aurelius was like, hey, I need you to be my man, basically. Like my son, he is a disappointment, essentially. I didn't raise him well enough to become the leader he needs to be for Rome. And he's like, Maximus, you are that person. And Maximus is like, no, I just want to go back to my farm. I want to go back to my family. That's not an option. Later on is destroyed by the destruction of his family. All he wants to do is get back to his family.
He just wants to go to his wife and his son.
He just wants to be with his wife and son.
And throw swords.
Yes.
Perfectly in a circular motion.
Which makes zero sense, but that is...
Sorry.
What is it? Ridley Scott, he's like, that is cinema. Or whatever. But,
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Hey, we had to call that out. And the overuse of fire, you know.
It's a great movie.
It's cinematic.
I love
it. But that movie has those, like, that whole storyline, and then he dies.
Yes.
He dies in the end. And the music is so good.
Freaking Hans Zimmer, man. Is it Hans Zimmer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hans
it's
Zimmer,
Hans Zimmer. You
Pirates
listen
Caribbean?
to it, you get Pirates Caribbean
It's
vibes.
literally Pirates Caribbean.
You do. But a little bit, you can't compare them, though.
No.
They're both just iconic.
Yes.
But all of this to just say that he's using tropes from stories that have been passed down for years and years and years and years, and it's for a reason. One last thing I wanted to comment about this was in an interview that was recorded on Goodreads. I really like this. This is the concept of Red Rising and kind of where he got the inspiration. Continuing on that conversation, he says the origin here with the caste system, essentially, that he has, the color caste system. He says the origin here is in Plato's Republic, where he says that in a perfect society, men should form a natural hierarchy. There are men with souls of gold, men with souls of copper, iron. The ones of iron should till the soil, while the ones of gold should rule the city. But he didn't believe it should pass down through birth. He believed it was a meritocracy. The problem is that he didn't see that people would want to accumulate wealth or power and pass it down to those they love. So I thought, that would be interesting. We have a meritocracy, but how could it be poison? And I was like, oh, yeah, I really like that. Because, yeah, sure, that sounds ideal, but you've got these problems. Who's going to let other people rise when they have accumulated wealth and power? They're not going to just let that go.
That's true. And it's going to get, what's the word? Inflated? Convoluted? Conflated? Corrupted? Well, just like inflated.
All of it.
Like all of it.
Yeah.
As time goes on.
Yeah.
People in power are going to want more power.
Yeah.
They're going to do it no matter what the consequences are.
Yes.
They're going to enslave more people so they can get more power.
Yes, they're going to dehumanize.
Yes.
I think that's really interesting because I'm curious how this story is going to go, because this podcast, we're talking about the series, but we only read the first book.
Yeah.
So we're only really talking about the first book. So I'm really curious how that cycle is going to be broken, because hypothetically, the whole thing of their caste system began with having good people rule.
That's how it started.
Yeah, that's how it started. So there was good people. And then I felt like I was reading the Bible a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he has said, I was watching an interview and he talked about how he also based some of this on Christianity.
Yeah.
And how like that's kind of how it started. And then along the line, it went down.
It went down.
Yes.
That's always what happens. Like you have righteous people, and then those righteous people become corrupted. This all goes into my conspiracy theory of Atlantis. We don't have to talk about this, actually, but I just felt like I wanted to make that connection. This literally does not need to be in this episode.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about.
The reason I brought this up, Atlantis, and how people speculate Atlantis is the Eye of the Sahara, which you can like see from space. And people talk about this all the time. And the conspiracy is that Plato records in one of his, it's called Timaeus and Critias. It's a fictional allegory, but he like bases it off of like a man that he met from, Mauritania. He was very wealthy, and they came from a place that was very advanced technologically. They were very smart people, but the recent conspiracies believe that the concept of Atlantis is around this place, Mauritania. Instead of it being destroyed by a flood, which was like because the gods were jealous, it was more about they corrupted themselves and they destroyed themselves.
I see.
So this whole conspiracy, which I'm like, you know what, there's probably some truth in there about that civilization and how it could have been destroyed and how people connected to Atlantis, or the city under the sea concept. I just really feel like that's true, because people do that. And civilizations have died because good people were in power, and then it gets passed into people that aren't anymore.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like that's like how we understand the Bible. That's how we understand Shakespeare. That's how we understand these ancient stories. And Red Rising is not any different. I feel like in that sense.
To go back to Antigone, that's just what happens in Antigone, right?
Yeah.
Like the king dies, he has 3 sons, right? And he's like, each son you're gonna serve as king for X amount of time.
Yes.
And then the first son becomes king, and he's like, I don't want to give this up anymore. And then that's how the war starts. And then they just all kill each other.
Yeah.
All the brothers die.
Yeah.
And then you get the bad king. What's his name? Starts with the C. I don't know.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. Look it up. Like I had to do. I had to get some of my facts straight enough to be able to like tell you.
Yes.
In a somewhat eloquent way.
It's been a long time since I've read Antigone.
I think I
read
it
in
high
college.
School. Oh, you did college?
Yeah. Well, we did a ton of. I TA'd a class that read Antigone in college.
Yeah, it was a book we could choose to read in my AP Lit class, and Antigone was one of them. But to kind of close off, we've talked about his career. We've talked about how it started, what inspired it, but something that I do think was interesting in one of his other interviews, because people were talking about what they're comparing Red Rising to, because a lot of people were like, oh, it's Hunger Games, Maze Runner. And he actually kind of calls that out, and he says, people compare it with Hunger Games and the Maze Runner and other things like that. And this is like him as an author. This is how he feels. He says, but I've always felt Red Rising's soul is much more in line with Alexander Dumas. Those guys are classics, and I'm not comparing myself to them. He also mentions Frank Herbert. But he's like, where I got a lot of inspiration is because of them. And he also said, and then I would say Tolkien was hugely influential for him, along with Homer and Sophocles.
Yeah, I could see that. I think a lot of people compare him to Hunger Games just because of how popular it is.
Yeah.
That just gets happen a lot. I mean, how many books are compared to the Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
But nothing's like the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's just because Game of Thrones is popular.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
Yeah.
So if you market something similar to Hunger Games, more people will read it.
We're going to read it.
But I agree with him. I think it's closer to
Count of Monte Cristo and
Dune, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I also think he doesn't even necessarily classify this as sci-fi.
No.
He's like, it gets classified as sci-fi, and that's usually the genre it gets put in, but to him it's more fantasy.
Yeah.
In his brain.
Yeah.
But that's a different time.
Yeah. So that's kind of our intro to Red Rising, everybody. I hope you're excited to read it.
Oh, I do want to mention, if you get to the end of Red Rising, he's written 6 books in total.
Yeah.
So he's got the Iron Gold tetralogy, which is what we're waiting for the 7th book to be out, and that'll be the last book in the series. Mm-hmm. He's written a couple comic books. If you want to go farther into it, they're called The Son of Ares, and then he's written a Star Wars short story, if you want to go and read that. Star Wars from a certain point of view. And then he's got a Patreon called The Book of Lorn. It's like a comic and narrative style put together. It's not traditionally published. Some people think it might get traditionally published in 2028 maybe. But you can literally go on there. I don't even think you have to pay for it. I think you just sign up for the Patreon and then you can read. It's split up into chapters.
Cool. So you get a little subscription.
Yeah, I'll link the Patreon somewhere.
The link is hilarious.
Yes. It's colorful language and,
crap escalates.
It'll be linked.
Yeah. Oh, his words, not ours.
Yes,
Just kidding.
But if you are someone that already loves Red Rising and want to know more, and you didn't know that, there you go.
Well, thank you guys for joining this episode. I'm really excited to hear what people say. I really hope we can get a good mix of people's reactions. Get a good range.
Yes.
Anyways,
cool. We will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Bye. Wow. I went by fast.